Hey, we're going to pick up right where we left off in the last video. We just got the lower exhaust manifolds put on and the lower intake. I'm going to keep buttoning up and working my way up top. So let's go ahead and jump right back into that. Not the greatest picture we've ever had, but what we need to do is coming in here, let's go ahead and get these flanges bolted back up for the exhaust, and we should be in a good spot to move forward. Where does this go? All right, let's start by tightening up these manifolds so we can finish off the exhaust part. Weren't they 16? Yeah, 16 millimeter. We'll come up from the bottom. I can't tell. They seem real tight. Tight to me. I'm going to call the exhaust manifolds tight. I mean these flanges tight. What can we put in next? Okay, so that's the exhaust bolted up to the manifolds. Next, I'm going to go ahead and change out the O-rings and get the fuel rail reinstalled. We're going to keep them in the same order. Man, these are old. Look, that one's already split. Comes with that little tool, so we're just going to roll them on. Pop right back on. Pretty easy. Makes it real easy. Roll and remove, and we got new O-rings. Not bad. Just put it back in. Pop it back in. Let's make sure. I mean, everything's clean. I already cleaned the rail. We're just pushing back in. Okay, that's your fuel rail. Let's see if we can get this back in. Here's the fuel rail. And do the 3 bolts that hold the rail down. Plugged in here. Just going to kind of click in. You feel it pop over that O-ring. Everything's snug, which leaves us with finding. So we got a note of those. Here's your throttle. There they are. Here is, over here, our wiring harness. Really? We want to come in front of the EGR tube. Then up front, this plugs into here. There we go. So that plugs in right there. And now we... No, it doesn't. This plugs into that. I'll have to figure out where that goes in a little bit. Then we can start plugging in our fuel injectors. 1, 2, the broken third one, 3, 4. Because this should have went behind here. Seems right. Everything's connected. I know know this will go to here when this is all said and done. So does this one go in? Shit, I don't remember. And then we just need to tighten down the fuel rail. I don't remember if this came in front of or behind. Hey, just to check, I went back and looked, and it did go behind it like this. And there's this factory tie thing right there. So to keep this snug right here. Everything is in there, which means I could probably, which means I should be able to hook the fuel lines back up. Which was you punch them in and listen for the snap. Got it. Okay, fuel lines have been reconnected. All the fuel injectors are hooked up. Before we get too far, we want to get rid of these tire wraps that I was using to hold the heat shield up with earlier. Which leaves us with some vacuum lines that this one went over here. Which one came off of the fuel pressure regulator? So with the fuel rail now mounted, 3 mounting bolts, 6 fuel injectors, everything's snugged in there. On that wiring harness that came across, there's one vacuum line that goes from the fuel pressure regulators and go up into the vacuum tree whenever we install the upper intake. There's a couple things I'm not real sure about. I know that this will go to your coffee can, and our ground is going to hook back up eventually to the upper. But I think I'm ready to put the upper intake on. Now the one thing I got to do with the upper intake, I'm going to take you inside and show you this. On the bottom side of the upper intake, there was a hose that is just, it was cracked, brittle. It was actually had some residue and leaking some oil, and it connects to your positive crankcase ventilation. That little on the valve cover, it would connect to your PCV valve. Okay, well, mine was just bad. You can see one end was just real nasty, so I had to get and basically make my own. This hose was shot. I'm making my own, so we're just going to kind of eyeball the length and basically cut it off and make our own PCV valve hose. Basically, we're going to make our own, and it should fit nice once you cut the right length, and it'll fit into the new one that's out there. And we'll make our new hose. Just going to thread this in like it was before. Put the gasket on. Now we need the upper intake. All right, upper intake. Let's remove the bolts in an order that we're going to remember. You can put an L for last on this one, or maybe it's a 7, I don't know. Just it sits on there. So we're going to start getting these threaded in there the way we took them out. Okay, and repositioning the camera, we're looking straight back towards the cab. There's one more that's way in this back corner that I think I had to get from underneath, but we're gonna try. Oh, I got it. Here it goes. Now let's look at a tightening sequence. Now I don't see a tightening sequence, so I'm gonna start in the middle and work my way out, I guess is the best way to do it. I had to stop to reroute the vacuum lines. The two that go to the coffee can and this to the smog pump actually come out the bottom. I was trying to wrap them all the way around, it wasn't fitting, so I had to go back and watch my video. It actually feeds through right here by this bolt. And we know that these bolts are at 16 foot-pounds. So we're gonna get them snug and then torque them. Let me try to move for a second. I'm gonna have to go all the way from the bottom. Okay. The upper is on. I ran out of light. Hope I salvaged some footage. Let's go inside. I definitely wanted to get more done tonight, but with no light, I don't even know if the footage is coming across. So, upper intake is on and torqued down, new gaskets. Vacuum lines seem to be routed the way they should be. So, I was really wanting to get the alternator bracket and everything on tonight, but there's just not enough light. So, this one may be a short video if it even comes out right. So, in the off chance that it came out good, please check the description below. Check out the channels I'm recommending. They're awesome guys, awesome channels. If you stuck with me to the end on this one, I appreciate it. Can somebody bring me a beer now? As always though, I'll catch y'all next time. Bye.